what I did was revealed to me at the time. And there's a question if it was revealed to me by Elohim or by Satan. By the way, the Satan talks to me a lot. Satan talks to me more than Elohim. And believers shouldn't be surprised about it. If you become a believer, the Satan will be all over you. And sometimes I make the mistake of talking with him. So, and it's very important. But sometimes you can get confused. So you have to follow certain rules that will let you know exactly if you're talking with Elohim or with the Satan, and what you're not supposed to talk with the Satan, and all those things. I'm human. Sometimes you break the rules, and sometimes you pay a big price for it. But it was revealed to me at the time that Heinrich Himmler actually had agreement with the Satan, that was agreement bounded by the rabbis, that he would cause the Holocaust and he would get to build the third temple as a reward. So that was a revelation that was kind of shocking to me in those days. And I don't go into the process, how did I get this revelation again? And it doesn't even matter if it's true or not, because obviously Heinrich Himmler did not end up to build the third temple. I don't know if he was cheated by the Satan, or if Satan changed his mind. It's not important. But the important thing is that I was aware of an agreement that included the Jews and the Nazis together to go through the Holocaust, not resist the Holocaust, and in reward get the third temple. Now, when I say with the Jews or the Nazis, of course I'm not talking about the average person. I'm not talking about even a minority, but I'm talking about tiny minority, the dominant people. Most people just follow the herd. But it's very important because you create a spirit that affects the behavior of the mass. And it's very important. How few people can create a spirit that millions of people would normally act according to that. There's few people that can decide if the nation would be angry, would be contempt, be happy, sad, violent. It's amazing how few people can control it. Of course, with the Satan, it's all working together. And there was a spirit that the Jews would not resist the Holocaust. And that spirit had to be agreed upon with number of Jews themselves. I don't know how many. I'm not going to name names except the Rothschild. He might be the only one. I don't care. I doubt it. But I'm not trying to point figures of every rabbi now, because, as I said, the Jews were actually the victim of this process, not the evil part. And the Germans were also, in that sense, they also were the victims, because they were taken for a ride. They think of the Nazis as evil and the Jews as a victim, and it's true on a physical world. If you look at the spiritual world, they were both in some way were victim. And the Satan used very few people to manipulate and cheat the world. And we'll see it over and over and over. So that was a shocking revelation to me. And that's what caused me eventually to desire to talk to Israel, because I kept away from Israel for a while, and that was like a desire for me to come back and teach. And during the time also, my brother, my mother, and my father visited me in San Francisco, separately at different times, but within a period of about a year or so. So obviously that was an effect. And also at that time I met the woman to later become my wife, but she actually more was pulling for me to go to Israel. And I have to say for the record a few things. She was born Christian, but not born again. She wasn't born again after she met me. Because she was born Christian, I was born Jew, people would immediately assume that she was the one that brought me into the faith. But I became into the faith a few years before I even met her. Actually, when I met her, I was very strong in the faith, and she was the one that kind of was going from one church to another. She was basically brought up Catholic background, and she saw the Catholic is wrong, and she was going from place to place, and she couldn't find. And I'm the one that actually introduced her to the issue of becoming born again, receiving the Spirit, how to fellowship with Elohim, how to operate the Spirit. So I had spiritually much greater influence on her than she had on me. But she kind of made me a bit more calm down about Israel.